This is Alia with Dance with Alia, and I'm here with Karim Nagi, who has just taught a beautiful workshop on Arabic percussion.
Correct.
Primarily, we were all using doumbek. And what I found really awesome about it is he incorporates his body knowledge, his understanding as a dancer of what needs to be played as a drummer. And you were able to put it into a context where I could understand why the rhythms needed to be the pace that they were at. So how did you start with dancing or drumming first?
Well, I started actually as a musician with tonal instruments, and then went into percussion, and then well, I've been dancing all my life, but formally about almost 10 years after I started music to be the professional level. So the entire time I've always felt how the two operate with each other. That when you dance, the music has to be a certain way. Certain music will not inspire movement. I've never been the kind of person that can dance randomly to random music. I've always danced a specific style of dance with a specific style of music, and so I've always felt the connection. So when I go to teach it, I'm very conscious, if I'm going to teach music, what is the final result? What kind of dance are we playing music for? What speed does it need to be, and what tempo and what dynamics?
Yeah. Well, that's good, because I think in America we don't have as much the cultural context of what the dance is, where it belongs, what type of ritual or ceremony is it associated with. And so the fact that you want to put that particular dance with that music means you probably want to teach people about the appropriate way to do it. And so now we get to reap that benefit.
Well, thank you. And I'm not the police. I'm not out to criticize people for what they were not able to learn, or what path they've gone on based on their exposure. I'm happy that people are motivated to learn, and whatever motivates them is fine with me. But if I have the opportunity, I'd love to put things back in the cultural context. I mean, I'm an Arab, and I feel this music and this dance as a part of my culture, and so I would like to impart that on people. And I also think it will improve their dance as well. It will help them dance in an authentic or natural way, and then also be able to give them the opportunity to defend what they do to other people who maybe see them for the first time. For example, somebody who's never seen belly dance before and who sees it in an entertainment aspect, and they see how the woman is dressed or what context it is, and they ask her, where does this come from? What kind of dance is this? It looks it looks sexy, it looks interesting. If the performer has a cultural context, she'd be able to defend it. She'd be able to describe it to other people, and not just leave them with this experience of some sultry performance. They'd have a background that they could use to describe what they're doing.
How do you describe your dances? Do you call it Middle Eastern? Do you call it Arabic?
I call it Arabic. I mean, for me, Middle East is a very big category. Middle East, on an academic level, covers all of North Africa, all of West Asia. So it could be everything from Morocco to Pakistan, or Morocco to Afghanistan, including many cultures. So I narrow it down to Arabic because it's a language group, and that's 22 countries already. So it's a big language group. And so I usually narrow it down to that. And then we have, folklore, we have classics, we have popular, and sometimes popular is regional, sometimes popular is pan-Arabic, meaning like it could use different types of music from around the Arab world, whatever is fashionable at the moment. So that's really how I define it within the language group.
And you also use that as a teaching method.
Absolutely.
Which was very helpful. You talked about six-ish.
Yeah, exactly. Like the word Sudesi comes from the word six. The word Saidi comes from the word that refers to the south of Egypt. The word Saudi, meaning like from Saudi Arabia, from the kingdom of El Saud. So these are all words that we use a lot in our drumming or dancing, and we think they're proper nouns. It's like saying Queen Mary refers to something, but they're actually more adjectives, meaning the word Saidi can refer to something other than drumming or rhythm or dance. Could refer to anything from the south of Egypt. It's an adjective. So a lot of times the language actually illuminates things for us. But in the United States, we don't use Arabic language that much. Even the popular form of dance, belly dance, that's an English term, even though it's not an English dance. So a lot of people might not associate it with a culture as a result.
Right.
Well, for instance, if we say salsa, it's a Spanish word, so we can assume, well, it must be from Latin America. I mean, they don't call it the foot shuffling dance. Bharatnatyam or Odissi dance. These are words in Hindi, so we know that it comes from India. We don't call it the dance with the dot on your forehead. You know what I mean? So, but you do remember the language when we say words like a Saidi, when we say Raqs, Raqs Sharqi. These are Arabic words. Malfouf is an Arabic word. Hafla is an Arabic word. So it's still in there somewhere, the names and the language to help us remember some origin.
I was thinking about how in the workshop you got up and you actually danced for us, which was also very helpful to put it together. Yes.
Thank you. I find as a musician, I think about the body effect before I start the music. So meaning that I will imagine what is the feeling of the music, what is the movement, what is the animation as a dancer or as a context, in a contextual way. I would imagine that first and then start the music. When I perform as a dancer, I'm also intoxicated with and connected to the music. For me, both of them are actually much more tied together than people think. I think of them almost as a simultaneous thing. So when I teach music, I try to show people what the dance equivalent would be. When I teach dance, I sing and I play the rhythm for the dancers, and I sing the melodies. I find that when a musician connects to the dance and when a dancer connects to the music, that the final context is much more holistic and people understand it and feel it more accurately.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for putting out your art and your teaching.
You're welcome. Thank you for appreciating it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have the same name as my sister, Alia, my younger sister, so appreciate the invitation.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.